Coming in at number 10 is Cameron Dallas. In 2012, Cameron Dallas was a star on the rise on the app Vine that let you post 6-second videos. He was a part of the content creator group MagCon as well. When Vine shut down in 2017, Cameron secured lucrative modeling gigs with Calvin Klein and Dolce & Gabbana. He was also doing all the movie star in the making rounds. But that's where his career stopped. In 2016, Chasing Cameron Dallas, his lowly rated Netflix reality series, was released, and it was cancelled after just one season. Professional troubles were the least of his worries as he dealt with personal struggles since he was arrested for in January 2019. 8 months later, he revealed he had a 2.5-year battle with addiction, anxiety, depression, and family trauma that included a stint in rehab. He tried rebranding himself as a confessional and extremely auto-tuned singer in a series of music videos that have not exactly taken off. The size of his Instagram reach is over 25.1 million followers and makes this somewhat confusing because he has such a big audience. Number 9. Nash Grier. Nash Grier was also a star on Vine and was part of the group MagCon. He turned his piercing blue eyes and boy next door good looks into some great gigs after Vine died, including a 2019 appearance on the runway for Dolce & Gabbana. Like Cameron, Nash's move to the small screen hit one minor snag: acting is actually really hard, even if you're kinda good. Nash starred in a single season of the thriller series called The Deleted. The show appears unaffiliated with any actual TV network and was quickly, well, deleted. Pun intended. He also starred alongside Bella Thorne in 2017's You Get Me, which has a horrible audience score. In 2019, he became a father and is now a part-time video creator. His YouTube channel has 4.57 million subscribers, and while 7 years ago each of his videos reached over 2 million views, he now barely reaches 200,000 views on his videos now. Number 8. Lily Singh. Lily Singh is a Canadian YouTuber. She began making YouTube videos in 2010 under the name Superwoman until 2019. In 2016 and 2017, she was included in Forbes' list of the world's highest paid YouTubers. She rose to viral YouTube fame with her widely condescending caricatures of bigots in her breakout video, A Geography Class for Racist People. Due to her fame, she became the first bisexual woman of color to land a late-night talk show. NBC's A Little Late with Lily Singh debuted in September 2019 with all 96 episodes pre-recorded in a studio over a 3-month period. But the result was not well received, particularly from her fellow YouTubers, 3 of whom released scathing critiques. Now, general audiences didn't embrace Lily's twist on late night either, and Teen Vogue even used her own fame-making identity logic against her, dubbing her trademark shtick as problematic for being indicative of non-black people performing blackness. Number 7. Gabby DiMartino. Nikki and Gabby DiMartino are twins who are a duo of singers, social media influencers, YouTubers, and actresses. In December 2020, Gabby got into some hot water when she uploaded a childhood photo of herself on her OnlyFans account. The picture in question was of Gabby lifting up her skirt, and to make matters worse, Gabby added a suggestive caption to the photo and offered people to buy the content for $3. She was accused of duping her fans about the contents of her video. Now, due to this, OnlyFans immediately locked Gabby out of using the service, stating that she violated their terms of service. Gabby initially attempted to downplay the incident as trolling, stating drama channels are trying to make something out of a childhood video of me, that's hilarious, and claiming her OnlyFans was not a sexual page, though her previous posts were sexual in nature. She later posted a 1-minute apology video to her YouTube channel, and she was losing success before this incident, but since then, many people have stopped being fans of her. Number 6. Miranda Sings. Miranda Sings is a fictional character created and portrayed by comedian, actress, singer, and YouTube personality Colleen Ballinger that first appeared on the internet in 2008. Colleen displays videos of the comically talentless, egotistical, misguided, and quirky character on Miranda's own YouTube channel. The comedy of Miranda Sings was insanely popular in the early 2010s, but comedy has moved on since then. Miranda's page would often can get more than 1 million views, but since then it's been struggling to get at least 200,000. Miranda hasn't been posting as much due to Colleen having given birth to a son and a pair of twins. Colleen's personal channel, though, has still been going strong. I think it's time for Colleen to finally give up Miranda Sings, as the internet and comedy have moved on. Number 5. Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas is a YouTuber and singer. Her YouTube channel consists of a wide variety of content, including lifestyle-oriented vlogs, music videos, and mukbangs. As of 2022, she has accumulated roughly 5 million subscribers and 1 billion lifetime views. She is a self-identified troll who started posting videos in 2006, mainly acting as outlandish characters, but has evolved into a creator who thrives at being the center of controversy. In 2020, she co-hosted the Frenemies podcast with YouTuber Ethan Klein, a spin-off of the H3 podcast. But Trisha and Ethan had a very public falling out on the show that cancelled Frenemies. She's also been in the center of many controversies, including other TikTokers. Now, Trisha has expanded her social media presence to the subscription website OnlyFans, where she's been making most of her money. She gave birth to her daughter Malibu Barbie in 2022 and has been posting baby content, which many seem to not like. Number 4. James Charles. James Charles is a beauty YouTuber and makeup artist. While working as a local makeup artist in his hometown, he started a YouTube channel. In 2016, he became the first male brand ambassador for CoverGirl after a tweet featuring his makeup went viral online. He has released an eyeshadow palette and created a makeup line in collaboration with Morphe Cosmetics and has received numerous awards for his work on social media. His career has included multiple online controversies, though, including a widely publicized feud with fellow beauty YouTuber Tati Westbrook in 2019. Tati released her Bye Sister video, which accused James of trying to manipulate men's sexualities, but James denied the accusations in his own video. In 2020, he was accused of sharing inappropriate texts and photos to underage fans. Defending himself, James said that the fans sent lewd photos and lied about their age, saying that they were 18. Over the next year, several other boys came forward claiming they talked to James when they were underage, leading him to take a few months off from content creation. Number 3. Onision. James Jackson is a creator who's known online as Onision. His primary YouTube channel features sketches and satirical clips. Videos posted to his other channel focus on personal stories covering controversial subjects, as well as discussions with his viewers. His online content has attracted controversy and criticism from online media outlets and viewers alike, as well as many allegations of misconduct in his private life. He has been accused of taking advantage of women and body shaming in his videos. In 2019, a video featuring his girlfriend resurfaced online. In it, he is heard telling her, "You know this video is never going to be online, right? No one will ever know how much I mistreat you," before throwing candy corn at her and laughing as his girlfriend cried. Now, 8 years ago, his videos on YouTube would regularly reach over 1 million views, but today they hit only 10,000 views. Yikes. Number 2. Gabby Hanna. Gabby Hanna is an internet personality and singer-songwriter. She rose to prominence on the video platforms Vine and YouTube before releasing her debut single, Out Loud, in 2017. If you don't know Gabby from her own social media page, you might know her through her association with David Dobrik and Liza Koshy, as she was a part of the famous Vlog Squad. Gabby has had many controversies. She's been accused of stealing jokes, defending someone who took advantage of her friend, promoted a free set of makeup brushes that required customers to pay $10 for shipping, and allegedly told fellow YouTuber Trisha Paytas' then boyfriend Jason Nash that Trisha had an STD. Now, Gabby has spoken about her mental health struggles, and it seemed like she was going through a manic episode and posting it on TikTok for the entire world to see in August of 2022. She posted dozens of concerning clips on her TikTok account one day and posted upwards to 50 TikToks a day for at least 3 days straight. Many of the videos were about religion and seemed out of character for her, and she was just incoherent. The whole situation was messy and she wouldn't accept any help, but I'm hoping things get better for her this year. And coming in at number 1 is David Dobrik. David Dobrik is an internet personality. He found early success on Vine before starting his vlog on YouTube in 2015. David is known for being the leader of the popular YouTube ensemble The Vlog Squad, which features prominently in his vlogs and comprises of his friend group. David has over 18 million subscribers on YouTube and over 7.1 billion views. He has been dubbed the king of YouTube, but recently many controversies have arisen around David's involvement with The Vlog Squad. This includes allegations of sexual misconduct by a member named Dirty Dom, bullying regarding racism, homophobia, ableism, and being fatphobic. He also injured former member Jeff Wittick in June 2020 in Utah while filming a stunt. David was illegally operating an excavator in a shallow lake when Jeff swung from a rope attached to the end of the excavator arm. When David started spinning the rope too fast, Jeff hit the excavator and fell into the water upside down with his foot stuck in the rope. His skull was fractured in 9 places, his left eye socket was fractured, his hip and foot were broken, and ligaments in his leg were torn. In June 2022, it was revealed that David was being sued for $10 million by Jeff in relation to the accident. Before these controversies, his videos gained over 30+ million views, but now he barely reaches 15 million. I used to be a hardcore David fan, but after everything that's happened, I cannot support him anymore. Coming in at number 10 is Ned Fulmer. Ned Fulmer was a founding member of the Try Guys, which is an American online entertainment group and media production company which produces content for their YouTube channel. They first started on BuzzFeed, and Ned has been a part of this group for many years. Ned was known as the I love my wife guy. But in 2022, he was kicked out of the group when it was discovered that he was cheating on his wife Ariel with one of his producers, Alex Huring. This didn't just affect Ned, but the whole group, as the group ended up losing many deals due to this. Ned was removed from the company in September following an internal review of his conduct within the company. Then on September 27th, he posted a statement saying, "Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. I'm sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention." No one has heard from him since, and I don't really think anyone wants to. Number 9. Gabby Hanna. Gabby Hanna is an internet personality and singer-songwriter. She rose to prominence on the video platforms Vine and YouTube before releasing her debut single Out Loud in 2017. Now, if you don't know Gabby from her own social media page, you might know her through her association with David Dobrik and Liza Koshy, as she was a part of the famous Vlog Squad. Now, in 2022, Gabby was everywhere on TikTok, but not in a good way. Gabby has spoken out about her mental health struggles, and it seemed like she was going through a manic episode and posting on TikTok for the entire world to see in August. She posted dozens of concerning clips to her TikTok account one day in August and posted it in upwards to 50 TikToks a day for at least 3 days straight. Many of the videos were about religion and seemed out of character for her, and she was completely incoherent. One of the posts showed her asking fans for prayers after claiming someone broke into her LA house. 3 hours later, however, she let in a stranger named Nick who said he felt lost and asked to use the bathroom. Gabby also received a wellness check after multiple people called the police on her. The whole situation was messy and she wouldn't accept any help, but I'm hoping things get better for her this year. Number 8. Carly Pie. Carly Pie is a TikToker and food creator who made a viral pink sauce. On June 11th, 2022, Carly started promoting her new pink sauce on her TikTok account. She advertised the condiment in a series of videos, including one clip where she drizzled the sauce over KFC chicken, which was viewed over 5.8 million times. Carly said she had shipped 1,000 orders of the product to customers in June. However, backlash and concerns about food safety soon followed as people began making videos of their received products. Some users noted that there were differences in color of the sauce between the bottles and highlighted abnormalities on the nutrition label, which Carly told Insider was an honest mistake. She's been criticized for the errors on the nutrition label, which claimed there were over 490 calorie servings per container. Others who ordered the $20 sauce complained of broken bottles, while some worried the sauce needed to be refrigerated during transport. Carly said, "I will not let someone that doesn't understand my entire mission take it away through ignorance. They ridiculed Jesus, who am I, you know?" Okay, well, she can make all the food she wants, but it's important that she's not getting others sick. Number 7. Michaela Nuegra. Michaela Nuegra is a social media star and makeup artist known for posting innovative makeup tutorials on TikTok and Instagram. In late 2022, Michaela faced intense backlash for an almost 2-year-old clip that resurfaced on TikTok in late September. In the video, she responded to another TikToker's comment telling her to report to a 9-to-5 job. Michaela said, "I literally just finished working, it's 5:19 p.m. Try being an influencer for one day, try it. try it, it's not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job because it's absolutely effing insane. You do not want to have this job. Now, when the video resurfaced, she faced intense criticism. She then posted a 9-minute video to TikTok which she expressed gratitude for her job, which comes with an extreme amount of effing privilege and blessings and gratitude. She addressed the backlash and told viewers she'd be taking a social media break unrelated to the controversy. People made it seem like I work harder than everybody else, and that's an absolute lie, she said. I understand that everyone has hardships, but Michaela complaining about her privileged life to her many middle and lower class viewers is just wrong. Number 6. Nikado Avocado. Nicholas Perry, known online as Nikado Avocado, is a Ukrainian-born American internet celebrity best known for his mukbang videos on YouTube. Mukbang videos are of him eating a large amount of food on camera. Doing this has caused him a lot of health issues, but because he's getting views and getting paid, he won't stop. He started off on YouTube trying to be a musician and he was vegan. Since then, he has gained a lot of weight since starting his eating videos, and his physical and mental health has declined. It caused him to get divorced from his husband, and they can be seen in his videos fighting verbally and physically. His videos are also disturbing to the fact that he's often seen crying while eating or doing strange things like shaving his head, anything for the views. With all the attention he's getting, he's continuing this destructive behavior, and I think the only way to put a stop to it is to stop watching and supporting him. I hope he gets the help that he needs soon before it's too late. Number 5. Sienna May. Sienna May is a TikToker who has built her brand on being body positive and being an overall kind person. In 2021, she was accused of assaulting fellow influencer Jack Wright, which led to a significant amount of backlash against her across social media. Then in January of 2022, Jack posted a YouTube video titled What Sienna May Did to Me, in which he accused her of a number of instances of inappropriate behavior. Sienna lost over 1 million followers amid the online backlash, and then fans on TikTok started to compile evidence against Sienna for doing creepy things. A lot of people didn't believe Jack, and this led to the conversation of gender roles and that if a man did what Sienna did, it would be labeled as SA and inappropriate. Sienna went on to deny Jack's claims in a blog post where she wrote, "As someone I loved and still love, I'm devastated that he made me sound crazy and twisted so many things out of context in his most recent video, to the point of literally painting me into a loud, crazy, over-sexualized stereotype that people try to use on young, especially Latina women." She took a hiatus from social media, but came back to social media near the end of the year. Number 4. James Charles. James Charles is a beauty YouTuber and makeup artist. He has had many controversies in the past, from former collaborator and friend Tati Watsbrook, who accused James of using his fame and power to manipulate straight men in 2019, to underage boys speaking up against James, accusing him of inappropriate behavior, to a former employee suing him for wrongful termination and unpaid overtime pay. James has been under public scrutiny for his actions. It seems like the multiple underage boys who have come forward about James's inappropriate behavior have really been the last nail in the coffin for his career. One instance is from when a 15-year-old TikToker came forward and released a clip in which he shared screenshots of his conversation with James on Snapchat. They flirted with each other, and when the TikToker posted their conversations, James became enraged and said, "I strongly recommend that you keep my name out of your mouth or we're going to have a major problem. I'd love to remind you that you were the one who called me cute and said you were bisexual and into me." Now, I just want to know why he thought it was okay to talk to a 15-year-old like that. It's just a classic case of victim blaming, and he was mad that he got caught. Since then, his views have gone down a lot, and he's lost many business deals. Number 3. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is a social media personality, businessman, and former professional kickboxer. His social media presence is heavily misogynistic and, well, disgusting. Most of the internet hates him, and honestly, I'm one of those people. He's a horrible person. Now, due to all of this, he was kicked off of social media for a bit, but on December 27th, 2022, Andrew taunted Greta Thunberg, a climate change activist, about all of his cars and how they are bad for the environment and how he didn't care. She clapped back, which made him even angrier, and he made a video for Greta showing him eating pizza and said he wasn't going to recycle the pizza boxes. Now, law enforcement was searching for him, and the pizza brand in the video revealed that he was in Romania. In April of 2022, Andrew and his brother Tristan's home was raided by Romanian police as part of a human trafficking investigation, and both brothers had denied the allegations. But on December 29th, Andrew and his brother were arrested in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking, SA, and forming an organized organized crime group. Authorities recently expanded their investigation by searching 7 more of his properties, seizing about $5.3 million in supercars and luxury goods. Since then, disturbing audio recordings and text messages have been revealed where Andrew speaks horribly about women. I don't think anyone wants to hear from him again, and for him to be in jail for a very long time. Number 2. Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is a YouTuber, makeup artist, and former singer-songwriter. He's the founder and owner of Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Now, Jeffree has had many controversies in the past, but I personally am hoping we leave him in 2022. Jeffree hasn't posted on his YouTube channel in a couple of months, and he's not too active on Twitter. In August, he posted a video about moving out of LA, and he now lives in Wyoming. Jeffree told the local radio station, Kiss Casper, that he enjoyed living off the grid in Wyoming. He opened up about how he was planning to expand his business and companies to Casper by opening a product fulfillment center that would bring local job opportunities. He lives on a ranch now, but he's not alone on this huge property, as he has 40 yaks to keep him company. Yeah, you heard that right, yaks, like the animal. He launched a social media presence, Star Yak Ranch, to document his Wyoming-based herd and ranch life. In a YouTube video on his channel, Jeffree discussed his plans to create a line of yak-related products like yak yarn and yak meat, as well as yak-related services. And coming in at number 1 is Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson is an American YouTuber, actor, filmmaker, writer, and musician. He was one of the first people to rise to fame on YouTube, and he began making videos in 2008 at the age of 19 and garnered over 500 million views during the next 2 years. Now, Shane is known for his conspiracy videos and his collection of videos with Jeffree Star. Shane has also had a very problematic past, making racist, sexist, and transphobic comments, as well as some comments about his cat. And no, I will not go into detail, but if you want to know, search Shane Dawson cat tweet. Now, his past caught up to him many times, but in June 2020, YouTube indefinitely suspended monetization on all 3 of his channels, and his books were pulled from shelves following a public backlash over numerous controversial comments he made in the past. He took a hiatus and returned to YouTube on October 7th, 2021. He tried to make a comeback, but he has lost a lot of fans. He only posted 6 videos in 2022, and before his cancellation, his videos would regularly get more than 50 million views, but with those 6 videos, none of them have passed 6 million views. I'm hoping he decides to stay away in 2023 because no one wants to hear from him.
Starting off at number 10, we have Zoella. So Zoella used to be one of the biggest channels on all of YouTube. And in the early days, she completely dominated the beauty vlogger space. And I actually remember back in the day, she would hang out with other British YouTubers like her boyfriend Alfie Days, of course, as well as Casper Lee, her brother Joe Sugg, and Marcus Butler, along with a few others. And I swear, these British YouTubers completely dominated YouTube in the early 2010s. But unfortunately, after so many years of being huge social media stars, she, along with the rest of them, started to lose popularity among their fan base. One article in the Telegraph tried to piece together some of the things that happened that led to her downfall, citing some scandals that happened towards the end of her career. One where she sold overpriced advent calendars, and another where she was exposed for some offensive tweets. And looking at her channel, she still does have a lot of loyal fans that seem to have stuck by her side. But as another YouTuber I Never pointed out in a video he did on her, she had been losing thousands of subscribers each month at the time he made his video. And although he mostly talked about her scandals in his video, most of the comments of that video were people explaining how they stopped watching her because as they grew up, they could not relate to her content anymore, and they felt that she didn't grow with her audience. And I would also probably agree that's probably a big reason that I stopped watching her channel as well. Then in at number 9, Yovanna Mendoza. So Yovanna, known on YouTube as Raw Vanna in the past, used to be a very influential raw vegan YouTuber and social media influencer. And I actually used to watch a lot of her videos back when I was experimenting with veganism myself. But the unfortunate thing about Mendoza's brand was that her entire livelihood was based around her being a vegan, specifically a raw vegan. And when she made the decision that she no longer wanted to be vegan anymore, she lost a huge portion of her fan base. After she was caught eating fish, she decided to come clean to her fans in a 33-minute long video that's now deleted, where she describes that she was no longer vegan and she had been incorporating animal products into her diet per her doctor's recommendation. But of course, with most of her fans being devout vegans, she got tons of backlash for lying to her fans for so long before coming clean. And she lost a lot of followers that did not support the decision. She still posts food and health related content to this day, but her videos still get lots of hate and dislikes from people that are still disappointed in her lifestyle change. And at number 8, Cameron Dallas. So Cameron Dallas was one of the biggest creators on Vine and signed huge deals with Calvin Klein and Dolce & Gabbana after the app shut down. He was also doing all of the movie star in the making rounds in LA and New York City media events. But after he tried to break into mainstream entertainment with his feature film debut with his film Expelled, which got terrible reviews. And then Chasing Cameron Dallas, his Netflix series, which was canceled after 1 season. After all this, people were unsure if he could translate his success off Vine. And then after he encountered some personal issues with addiction and depression, he took some time off social media before coming back and getting into music. But unfortunately, even with his massive Instagram following, it did not seem to take off quite as he probably hoped. And at number 7, Emma Hallberg. Emma Hallberg got into a massive scandal when last year some people discovered that she was Caucasian. And you might be wondering why this is a scandal. Well, the issue was that in her Instagram posts, she exhibited a lot of traits that are usually seen by women of color, like dark tan skin and black curly hair, among other things. And because of the way she appeared online, most of her fanbase thought that she was African American. But once the post came out exposing her, her fanbase completely turned on her, and she was one of the first people publicly accused of what we now call blackfishing. In the wake of the scandal, she got a ton of hate online and lost a lot of followers as well as sponsors. To address things, she claimed that she did not try and mislead anybody, and that she was just tanned easily and had naturally dark features. But people did not accept this excuse, as many people had commented on her photos alluding to the fact that they thought she was a person of color, and she never once corrected them, saying that she was not. To this day, she's still posting on her Instagram and has not changed her appearance at all, but also because of this, she still gets comments about her race to this day. Up at number 6, Belle Gibson. So Belle was a very popular figure on social media, and she gained all her fame after she published a book and released an app based on the premise that she had cured her cancer without drugs, and instead by using holistic alternative therapies. As well, she had also claimed to have donated huge sums of money to charities. But in 2015, after many journalists started to investigate these claims, Gibson admitted to have fabricated her entire cancer story. Well, it also came out that far smaller sums than she had been claimed actually had gone to charity. As a response to these lies, she was convicted in Australia and fined over $400,000. And of course, after all these lies, her career as a wellness guru influencer were completely over. Having their number 5, Olivia Jade. So Olivia Jade, or as you might know her as Lori, Aunt Becky Laughlin's daughter, got into one of the biggest scandals of 2019 after it was discovered that her family had bribed the school's admissions department $500,000 and lied that she was a rower in order to gain her admission to USC. In this scandal, she was well known online as a beauty YouTuber and Instagrammer. She even had a makeup line with Sephora and brand deals with Marc Jacobs and Estee Lauder. After the huge public outcry about the privilege of the people involved in the scandal, she was quickly dropped by all the brands she had worked with, and she went completely quiet on her social media accounts. And although she probably has a loyal fan base, when she returned to YouTube, she was met with a lot of criticism, with her first video back getting more dislikes than likes. And her first post back on Instagram was her giving the middle finger to media outlets, which a lot of people did not like. So it's safe to say her career might suffer for a while. Up at number 4, Tyler Oakley. So Tyler Oakley is another person who is considered to be one of the OG YouTubers, and he was massive back in the early 2010s. He also had an incredibly fast rise to prominence on the platform, which gave him even more momentum on the way up. He was mainly known for his lifestyle content with vlogs and tons of collabs with his other OG YouTube friends. And once he reached record highs in his fame, he started to get some of the best mainstream deals YouTubers had seen, collabing with A-list celebrities like Hillary Clinton and even getting a deal with Ellen DeGeneres. But when neither of these collabs did very well is when many speculate his career took a wrong turn. And YouTuber iNabber gave his reason for why he thought Oakley's channel was failing. And he attributed it to the fact that Tyler started to hang around mainstream celebrities and put his YouTube content on the back burner because of it. A lot of people in the comments of that video agreed, also saying that they felt he did not change up his content and it got very repetitive. Tyler is still posting online weekly, but for having 7 million subscribers, he doesn't really get the numbers even close to what he used to. Up at number 3, Nash Greer. So Nash is another person who got their start on Vine, and he managed to land some fashion deals after the app had ended. And similarly to Cameron Dallas, after Vine, he tried to break into mainstream media with acting. But unfortunately, his projects did not take off, with his series called The Deleted ending after 1 season. And then he starred along Bella Thorne and You Get Me, but the fact that the project did not get good reviews from critics hurt his budding career once again. Currently, it seems like Greer's main focus is being a dad to his new baby, as he's sharing all the adorable baby pictures that you would expect to his socials. He's still regularly posting to all his social medias, and it seems like he's trying to go from the MegCon aesthetic into a family channel. And considering some family channels are massive on YouTube today, he could definitely make a huge comeback in the future. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And at number 2, Jesse Stevens Stevens and Savannah Montano. So this is a real throwback for probably a lot of the girls out there, but I remember back in the day, these two were the quintessential couple goals, and they dominated Tumblr and even Instagram back when it first started. It seems that the couple started to kind of fall off on social media after they started to have relationship problems, with them first breaking up in 2016 and then getting back together before ending it officially in 2018. It seems that after the breakup, Savannah has managed to hold on to more of their fandom than Jessie did, and both of them still post regularly to Instagram, but with Savannah doing way better numbers. But please let me know, guys, below if you remember them. I really hope I'm not the only one. Then in at number 1, FouseyTube. So Yusuf Erakat, better known online as FouseyTube, was a massive YouTube creator a few years back, running one of the biggest prank channels on all of YouTube. He also had an incredibly popular vlog channel called Dose of Fousey. But Fousey was wrapped up in so many scandals, it was really difficult to get a timeline of all the crazy events that happened, to be honest. But just to name some of them, he exposed the secret that most of the pranks on YouTube were fake. He got into a fake fight with Rice Gum. He started a convention similar to TanaCon that was a complete flop. He lost in a YouTube boxing match, and at one point he said he was going to give away his YouTube channel. But a lot of his downfall on social media has been due to his struggles with his mental health, telling his fans openly that he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And a lot of his fans have credited the disorder with the many changes that have been seen in his YouTube persona over the years. As of now, he's still posting on his YouTube channel, but he's constantly considering quitting social media, and because of this, he's lost a lot of his loyal fans along the way. Starting off with number 10, we have Michelle Phan. So all of you OG YouTube watchers, especially women, will know who Michelle Phan was. But for those of you who don't, she was the biggest beauty YouTuber on the platform when it first started. And she was also one of the biggest creators on the platform in general in its early days. But after about 10 years on YouTube, Michelle all of a sudden vanished from the online space, going silent on YouTube and all her other social media platforms. Fans were shocked and confused, but sometime later she posted an explanation on her YouTube channel called Why I Left. In the video, she describes how her fame and success changed her and how she was not happy in the end, so she needed to disconnect from social media to find herself again. And at the end of the video she posted in 2017, she didn't say if or when she would be posting on YouTube again. But since that upload, Michelle has posted infrequently to YouTube, and she's posting pretty often on her Instagram. But in an interview with Variety, she revealed that her new focus is on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, as well as some beauty companies that she owns, which is pretty cool. And at number 9, Graveyard Girl. So Bunny, aka Graveyard Girl, first rose to prominence on YouTube back in about 2014 when she got a lot of attention for her Does This Thing Really Work? YouTube series, where she would test out products for her viewers, with a lot of them being as seen on TV products that people were genuinely really curious to learn about. And on these videos, she would average 10 to 15 million views per video, so trust me, this girl was massive. But then all of a sudden, she began to not really get as many views as before. And I know this is true, as she said it herself in a docuseries that Shane Dawson did on her called My YouTube Channel is Dying, Graveyard Girl. In this series, he goes to her house and interviews her on why she believes that her channel is losing views and subscribers. And after he spends a few days with her, he gives her some tips and tries to push her to make different types of content on her channel. But unfortunately, even though her channel did get a bump right after the series aired, it didn't really last, with her channel slowly falling into the same habits it was before. In the comments of Shane's video, people say that Bunny should have done more to follow Shane's advice if she really wanted to be successful. And at number 8, Michael Buckley of What the Buck. So way back in 2008 when YouTube first launched, Michael Buckley was one of its first stars, with him becoming known for his show called What the Buck. He was essentially the first ever drama/commentary channel on the platform, and he would make videos pretty similarly to the ones that we actually make on our channel today. But after some time being a star on the platform, his star lost its shine. He even addressed this in a video he made.
Hi guys, it's Michael Buckley, and today's video is called Why Did My YouTube Channel Die?
Where he said that in about 2011, he saw the new creators coming up that were better at making content and wanted the fame aspect more than him. So he decided it was time for him to take a different direction with his career. And since then, he has been working as a life coach, and to my knowledge, it's still what he does to this day. In at number 7, Smosh. So Smosh was huge on YouTube back in the day, and it's what inspired a lot of current day YouTubers to make their own videos. Smosh was a channel run by Anthony Padilla and Ian Hecox, and it became a YouTube sensation where they would film comedy skits, with them popularizing comedy skits on the platform. But after seeing some decline in their channel, it was acquired by Defy Media in 2011. And although it still featured Anthony and Ian, it turned into an enterprise with multiple channels and tons of on-camera talent. But Anthony made huge headlines when he decided to leave Smosh to venture out on his own. And thankfully for him, that paid off, and his own personal channel has been really killing it lately. And I really enjoy watching the videos on there. And at number 6, Casper Lee. So Casper Lee is another YouTuber that used to be huge during the whole British invasion second wave of YouTube, and was really good friends with Zoella and her brother Thatcher Joe. But like the other British YouTubers, after a while of doing very well on the platform, kind of all of a sudden Casper was just not getting as many views as he once did. And after some breaks on and off in uploading, Casper is still making videos regularly on his channel, and his views fluctuate pretty significantly. But it seems like he's probably still making enough to live off of. But it does seem like the numbers are starting to get to him, especially in one video he uploaded at the end of 2019, where he ponders a comment that someone wrote, asking how long he would continue to make YouTube videos. And although he did not give a straight answer, it seemed like the message was that he was focusing more on his life outside of YouTube rather than his life on it. And at number 4, Leafy is here. So Leafy was another YouTuber that dominated the commentary channel genre on YouTube in about 2016. And he was known for being very politically incorrect. And since he was uploading daily and his videos were long, he quickly gained a lot of followers as the YouTube algorithm had picked him up. But all of a sudden, after nothing had really changed about his content, his views started to go down. One YouTuber, The Gamer from Mars, said in his video that he believes that Leafy was actually suppressed by YouTube, as they saw that his channel with very toxic content on it was growing pretty fast, and they wanted to stop it in order to not hurt YouTube's good name. But a lot of Leafy's downfall had to do when iDubbbz made a content cop about him, and essentially destroyed his career so much that Leafy left the platform. Although Leafy briefly came back to YouTube this year to troll iDubbbz, he told Keemstar he had no intention of returning to YouTube full-time anytime soon. And at number 3, Fred. So Lucas Cruikshank, who was known for the character he portrayed, Fred Figglehorn, was at one point the most subscribed channel on YouTube, and his channel was the first to hit 1 million subscribers. And his early fame gave him tons of opportunities too, getting him a TV show deal with MTV, as well as a movie trilogy and a guest appearance on iCarly. After his traditional media endeavors were not as well received, in 2014 Fred's channel was rebranded with him posting content for kids without Fred in the videos. But that channel was abandoned in 2015, and now Fred's channel has been rebranded as Lucas, and Lucas is just trying to be himself instead of Fred. He is posting regularly and still gets pretty good views, but he does not get the recognition that he once used to. Up at number 2, Ray William Johnson. So way back when YouTube first started around 2008, Equals 3, hosted by Ray William Johnson, was the biggest show on all of YouTube. The show reviewed and commentated on viral videos, and millions of people watched, with views that would seriously rival top YouTubers now. But after many years of doing the show and seeing its slight decline, Ray decided that he was bored of the show and didn't really want to do it anymore. So he hired on some new hosts for the show, but none really stuck, and the show's popularity quickly fell. Then the show got into a huge legal battle for using clips that were not theirs, and after Equals 3 lost this battle, it hurt their channel once again. Now Ray is trying to branch into other media content, and he has been involved in other mainstream media projects. He now also has a podcast that he posts to his YouTube channel, but the views are nowhere near what it once was. Then up at number 1, Rebecca Black. So Rebecca Black is a total internet legend who was able to take what some would consider 15 minutes of fame and sustain that fame for years, even being involved in huge projects like a Katy Perry music video. After Rebecca released the now infamous track Friday, it quickly ran insanely viral, and she was the most talked about internet personality there was. Unfortunately for her though, a lot of the feedback on the video was negative, with more people laughing at her than with her. After the track went huge, she was getting tens of millions of views on the video. After the track went huge and she was getting tens of millions of views on the video, she decided to still keep uploading on her channel, uploading vlogs and other lifestyle content, as well as some other music videos that didn't even get close to as viral as Friday. Rebecca has opened up about how terrible this whole experience was for her mental health, with her opening up about her low self-esteem, depression, and bullying she dealt with following the release of the song. And most surprisingly for me, she actually revealed that she had a lot of career setbacks because of the song, with record labels and people in the industry not wanting anything to do with her. Currently, Rebecca is still working on her music, and she's posting regularly to all her socials. And while her YouTube does not really get much engagement, her Instagram is doing pretty well. And maybe 10 years after Friday, she will make a real comeback online. I really hope she does. So starting off with number 10, we have Team 10. And I didn't even do that on purpose, that both are 10. Anyway, so I saw a few of you commenting that Jake Paul should be on this list, and I personally don't agree. Although I'm not a fan of his, he's still very much relevant on YouTube. Honestly, as YouTube's kind of punching bag, if I'm gonna be honest. But one part of Jake that has definitely failed is his business venture, Team 10. So Team 10 was revolutionary in the internet space, with Jake forming a talent collective where they all lived and worked in the same house, trying to all blow up together. And although it did work and a lot of the members of Team 10 became huge in the venture, it didn't last. It all started with a lot of the team's biggest members leaving. Some because of personal issues with Jake, and others with large egos that thought that they could do it themselves. New members also told an insider that Greg Paul, who is Jake's father, coming on board was a big reason for a lot of the team members leaving. But for one reason or another, many of the talent that the fans knew and loved ended up leaving, and the new members that came on weren't as well received by the fans. And as of now, I don't think that there's one member still on Team 10 that was there during its heyday. And now it's considered pretty much a thing of the past. And at number 9, Dan and Phil. Dan and Phil were a duo that used to be huge on YouTube, and even I was actually a fan of theirs at one point, Dan in particular. They were featured at VidCon and were usually a big part of YouTube rewinds. But over the last few years, the duo has really fallen off, with them stating back in 2019 that they were going to take a break from their duo content to focus more on their main channel. But the problem with that is that neither of them actually did that, with both of them still posting on YouTube and getting pretty good views when they do. But since they never upload consistently like a lot of other YouTubers these days, they have become an afterthought to a lot of their loyal fan base. But I do have to say, Phil has been uploading more consistently recently, so it seems like he's trying to get back into the YouTube game again, while Dan might be just focused on other things. And at number 8, Grace Helbig. So Grace Helbig is another OG YouTuber that has been around on the platform for over 10 years. She got really big on the platform when she was on a channel called Daily You, and that's actually where I first found her. But then after a few years on the channel, she decided to branch out on her own. But for some reason, when she branched out, she wasn't able to be as successful as she was on the joint channel. And around this time is when a lot of people stopped watching her, including myself, to be honest. And usually with these YouTubers, a lack of consistency is what hurts their channels. But Grace has actually managed to stay pretty consistent over the years. But looking through her channel, it seems that the content is the issue. And she's still uploading the types of content that were huge back in 2015 and is not really adapted to current day standards. It also seems like a huge focus of her brand is now her podcast, Not Too Deep. And considering that not a lot of people actually really talk about it, and she usually only gets around 7,000 views a podcast on her channel, not taking into account streams of course. But she still has maintained a really loyal fan base, and I'm hoping that she can get on some modern day trends so she can start growing her channel again. And at number 6, Marcus Butler. So Marcus Butler is another British YouTuber that used to be big back during the British invasion with people like Zoella and Casper, but has seemingly quit YouTube. In the past few years, Marcus's channel started to slowly fall out of relevancy, like a lot of other YouTubers on this list. But it seems like Marcus struggled a lot more with it, as he had and now it seems like he wants to take a different direction in his career, as he's actually deleted all of the videos off his main channel with over 4 million subscribers on it. So I searched up what he's doing now, and it seems like he had left social media for a bit, except for Instagram, but he's now returned, and he said recently on Twitter that his main focus is now his clothing brand. And looking at the clothing, it does look very on brand for him now, and it seems like he is very happy with it. So I really hope that it does well and he's able to continue with this venture. Up at number 5, Glozell Green. So Glozell is another OG YouTuber who is known for her hilarious skits and videos online. But after being on YouTube for many years, for whatever reason, her channel started to fade, and her subscribers were not as interested in seeing her videos anymore. She even commented on her decline in a piece she did with Vanity Fair, where she said, "It would be nice if YouTube were like, oh, you've been here for a while, let me help you out with this and that because it's so saturated and you've been loyal. That would be nice," but that's with any company. And she felt that she'd been left out in the cold by YouTube in favor of its current stars. In 2017, she tried to change her brand by launching a kids channel called Glowbugs, but it didn't take off as she had hoped, and she's still uploading pretty consistently to her main channel, opening up about her personal life for her true fans that are still with her, but not getting even close to the views that she once did. And at number 4, Joey Graceffa. So Joey is another interesting one to me, as I don't want to say that he's totally irrelevant, as he still actually gets pretty good views on his channel, and he's uploading consistently. But he is someone that used to be at the forefront of YouTube, and now his name isn't as close to as talked about as it once was. Joey's channel was massive back in the day. He collabed with the biggest OG YouTubers at the time, but his channel started to slip, however. Thankfully for him though, his Escape the Night series that got tons of bigger influencers on his channel gained him a lot of traction in the YouTube world and helped him to gain his footing once again. He even spoke about his turbulent experience with the platform in a Vanity Fair article, where he said YouTube used to be a place where the weirdos and outcasts would go to find comfort and find their community. Now it's almost like the popular kids kind of infiltrated our secret hideout. And he continued that he's not all that impressed with the content that is being produced by the latest big creators, calling a lot of it lazy. Right now his channel is doing pretty good, but he's losing about as many subscribers as he's gaining. So his channel could be in somewhat of a transitional period, and I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see where it goes. In at number 3, Bethany Moda. So Bethany, who started out as MacBarbie07, used to be a huge lifestyle and beauty vlogger for younger people back in the day. And to my knowledge, she was one of the first YouTubers to ever land deals with mainstream companies, like way back when she did a clothing line with Aeropostale in her peak. But after being a YouTuber for many years at that point, in about 2015, Bethany started to feel burnt out and said she needed to take a break from YouTube. So she started to take numerous breaks and would not upload consistently when she did return, resulting in many of her fans leaving her for the newer lifestyle YouTubers that were uploading more consistently. Currently, Bethany is still posting and is pretty inconsistent, as it seems like a lot of her content is focused around her boyfriend, who is also a former huge YouTuber. But her views are obviously not what they once were, and she's still making content that was big back in the early days, but is not really big on YouTube anymore. Also in 2019, she was actually in the top 10 channels to lose the most amount of subscribers in that year, with her losing around 320,000 subscribers on her channel. And at number 2, Ingrid Nielsen. So Ingrid used to be really big on YouTube in the lifestyle community when she had the name Miss Glamorazzi, and she made product collabs with tons of huge brands in her peak. But now that she's been on YouTube for over 10 years, her views aren't what they once were. Ingrid is still posting very regularly on her YouTube channel, and although it seems like she's constantly trying to change up her content and do fresh things, unfortunately it hasn't stuck and her fan base does not seem to be growing. Ingrid has branched out of YouTube as well, starting a podcast called One Step, but it doesn't seem to be taking off. But with the shift in her content recently and how often she's now posting, I'm hoping that her channel is able to make a comeback.
Number 10, Gabby Hanna. In 2019, the YouTuber uploaded around 40 stories on her Instagram, where it looked like she was at the Coachella Festival. This confused a lot of people because Gabby has always been talking about her dislike for the whole event. But it turned out, of course, that she actually faked the whole thing. With a bit of photoshopping, brightly colored outfits, and some carefully filmed videos, she was able to trick people into thinking that she was actually there in Indio, California. Apparently, it was her own personal experiment that she tried to prove a point about social media being fake. She came up with the idea after speaking to a fellow influencer who admitted that they were only going to the festival just to take pictures. In response, Gabby felt like that was a whole lot of work for something that you're not going to be enjoying. So she decided to get the best of both worlds by getting her Coachella photos without actually having to pay for tickets or spending 3 days waiting for Ubers between her Airbnb and the main stage. She decided to stage the pictures at her friend's house on the lawn. She dressed up in colorful wigs and short shorts and then photoshopped Coachella crowds into the background. In the end, thousands of people were fooled and no one questioned the authenticity of those photos. So Gabby really did prove her point about social media. Number 9, Nate Garner. The California YouTuber got in on the fake Coachella prank with his girlfriend at the time, Carissa Duncan. The two of them dressed up in party outfits and actually drove up to the location of the festival. They even stopped at the Coachella sign on the way there to take some photos in the desert. Nate and Carissa then changed into 2 more outfits. Then they did a full-on photo shoot next to things like palm trees, and they found a location that would convince people that they were actually there. Once they had all those pictures taken, the next step was to edit them and post them on social media. To make the whole thing look even more legit, Nate screen recorded other people's Instagram stories from inside Coachella, and then he posted them on his own Instagram account. Once everything was done, the two of them went back to their apartment and read their Instagram comments from the comfort of their own home. It's safe to say that they managed to completely fool their followers. It's
It's really interesting to see how easy it was to make it seem like they were actually there. So it's no wonder that heaps of influencers do the exact same thing, especially if they don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a ticket. Number 8. Lauren Gray. The TikToker recently set the internet on fire when she posted a video explaining that a lot of influencers lie about going to Coachella. She explained that some of them will just go out to the area where the music festival is held and stay in an Airbnb. Apparently they dress up and get their makeup done just to pose for photos without actually going to the festival. She said they write post up Coachella Day 1, Coachella Day 2, and they don't go to the festival. They don't have wristbands. They just drive their little butts out to the desert to take Instagram photos, make TikToks, get ready with me's, whatever. Then they drive back and that's it. Lauren called Coachella the Influencer Olympics, and she said that everyone wants to make it seem like they went just because it's the place to be. She went on to say, so if you feel boring and sad because you're not at Coachella, just know that most of those people aren't there either. It's like a very common occurrence that I thought people knew, but I didn't see anyone talking about it. So before anyone else makes the horrible decision to drive to Southern California just for one expensive photo, might as well save time and money and just use a Coachella themed green screen. Number 7. Billie Eilish. It's one thing to fake being at Coachella, but it's another thing to fake being on stage. Back in April of 2022, the singer was headlining at the festival, but it wasn't actually her on stage, at least not during her intro sequence. Billie later revealed that she used one of her backup dancers as a decoy, and she put a disguise on so she could go into the crowd unnoticed. She went on the Matt Wilkinson show and spoke about how she pulled the whole thing off. She said, I had a body double, one of my dancers from the show. I dressed her up in a show look that I had worn before. We got a black wig and she put buns in it, and we gave her a mask and sunglasses, and she wore my shoes and my socks. I put her up at the back of the stage and she stood there while the lights went on and everyone thought it was me. And no one ever knew that it wasn't me. Literally nobody knew. While her backup dancer was on stage, Billie then walked through the crowd wearing a traffic vest and sunglasses. She then got to the end of the stage, took it all off and started the show. So the fact that she was successfully able to disguise herself for such a long time is crazy. Number 6. Vanessa Hudgens. The actress has been labeled the Queen of Coachella. She's been a regular attendee almost every single year, aside from when the festival was cancelled in 2020. There has been some long-running rumors on the internet that she missed out on a couple of years, but for the most part it does seem like she's been at the festival quite a lot. How do we know? Because when she doesn't get to go, Vanessa makes sure that everyone knows about it. This year she seemed to be missing out on the first few nights of festivities. She then posted a selfie on her Instagram story saying the Coachella FOMO is real. So it's possible that she still might be able to make the second weekend this year, but so far nothing has been confirmed. The reason fans are always so excited to see her make an appearance is because her festival fashion is literally next level. Vanessa's outfits have changed a lot over the years, but somehow she's always been able to set the trends. In the 2010s she had a very bohemian look where she wore a lot of flower crowns, floppy hats, crochet tops and ruffled dresses, whereas last year she wore a lot of bright neon colors and matching sets. Number 5. Nikki DiMartino. Fraternal twins Nikki and Gabby have pulled a few pranks on their followers by pretending to be in places that they're not, like when they tried to fake a trip to Milan by going to Olive Garden and taking photos from specific angles. Needless to say, they weren't successful since they failed to account for the weather and the time difference between their home in Pennsylvania and the time in Italy. Also because anyone who's ever been to Olive Garden could probably recognize the interior immediately. In 2019, when so many YouTubers were exposing how easy it is to fake being at Coachella, Nikki addressed the trend and explained why influencers put in so much effort to make it seem like they are actually there. She said, I feel like everyone makes Coachella prep videos, Coachella hauls, and uploads pictures to their Instagram stories and Snapchats, which makes everyone who is not going feel like they're missing out. According to Nikki, anyone who cares about their social media is going to make sure they're at Coachella. She said, you get to show people you are at the place you should be. It's almost kind of like bragging. So basically, most people that do go don't even do it for the music. They just want to get a truckload of content, which means you might as well stay home and fake it if you don't actually want to be there. Number 4. Byron Denton. The London-based blogger became well known for pranking his followers by faking a luxury lifestyle. So it was no surprise that he tried to do the exact same thing with Coachella. To pull off his elaborate prank, he got some help from his mom, who was also a graphic designer. He kept very secretive about his plan to fake going to the festival, which meant that some of his friends commented on his Instagram posts in shock. In an interview with Bored Panda, Byron explained his decision to fake it. He said, it dawned on me that everyone who is seen as successful on Instagram attends the festival at some point in their life. As it was a time of year where everyone was heading to the desert for a weekend of music and fashion, I decided it would be a great time to go along too. Well, with the help of Photoshop, of course. Apparently he fooled a lot of people, even several fellow influencers. Byron said, "The last thing I want to share about this whole experience is how easy it is to fake a lifestyle online. I'm no Photoshop genius, I don't have masses of experience in how social media works, which means just about anyone with a mobile phone can portray a life that may not always be real." Number 3. Anastasia Kingsnorth. The London-based influencer teamed up with Byron Denton to make a series of carefully staged photos in London that were later edited to look like they had been taken in the California desert. The two of them dressed up in festival clothes and reposted Instagram stories that were taken by actual people who attended Coachella. Byron and Anastasia kicked off the project by buying a ton of clothes from places like Boohoo and ASOS so they could look similar to those that were worn by actual festival goers. They then posed for a series of photos that could be photoshopped and later posted on Instagram. They went all out with this prank and pretended to take the fans on a journey from London to California, but the whole time they were using the backdrop of London's Westfield along with a Starbucks coffee shop to try and convince people that they were actually at the airport. Byron and Anastasia then posted an Instagram story that was actually taken in LA by another influencer. Although they both got away with it, their plans started to unravel when they were seen at another concert at the same time as Coachella. Eventually they were caught faking their Instagram posts by several of their fans who were also at that same event. Yeah, that sounds like it would have been a little bit awkward. Number 2. Josh and Archie. The UK pranksters Josh Peters and Archie Manners have almost 1.5 million subscribers on their channel. And over the years they've become very well known for pulling off some truly elaborate pranks on YouTube. So it's no surprise that in 2019 they decided to cash in on all the Coachella hype by pretending they actually attended the festival. First they got dressed up into the right outfits and added a little bit of messiness to it to make it seem like they had been partying really hard. The whole thing was filmed in Josh's bedroom, and they actually bought a portaloo and put it in his room so they could use it to set the scene. They then photoshopped themselves into pictures that their friends sent them from the festival. To make it seem like they were actually at the concert, they put fairy lights up in Josh's bedroom and set it up to seem like it was an actual party. But things became really messy when they posted a very obviously photoshopped picture to their Instagram, which their followers immediately called out. To save this from ruining their entire prank, Josh managed to find an old photo from when he was really at a festival to post online. The last thing he had to do in order to make it realistic was pretend to be hungover the following day, and the whole thing worked out surprisingly well. Number 1. Eleni Sabrakos. This content creator first went viral on TikTok after she made a video about Adele cancelling every single show she's ever tried to see, dating all the way back to 2016. Eleni recently posted another video on the platform called How to Trick People into Thinking You're Going to Coachella. It was basically a step-by-step instruction guide for social media users looking to fool their followers and pretend that they actually went to the festival. Eleni explained that you need to start Venmoing your friends for things like Coachella shuttle, after party tickets, and flights. That's the first part of convincing them that you're planning to go to the festival. From that point on, you can start posting Photoshop pictures on Instagram, and those people around you are going to be way more likely to believe it. Of course, faking it on social media is also a good idea if you don't like the idea of camping out in the desert with huge crowds. This year there were more than 250,000 festival goers, and if you're going to go for real, there is a lot of work that goes into planning it. Buying the tickets 6 months in advance, sorting out your outfits for each day, figuring out meals, and how you're going to get from place to place. Honestly, it just seems exhausting and excessive.